What's up, guys?
What's up, guys?
What's up, guys? So, Beauty and the Beast,
Kong Skull Island,
Logan,
Episode 8, Last Jedi
The
teaser
best
trailer.
love letters to Hollywood that we've
This
ever
film
seen.
is a masterpiece. So, until the next time, goodbye.
Rampage is directed by Brad Payton, and it is a new video game movie, or it was. I know that this film came out a long while ago, and I apologise for being behind in my reviews. I've been pretty bad in releasing new videos, so I'm sorry for that. I know I haven't released an Infinity War review or Deadpool 2, but expect them to be out soon. I am in the process of filming them, and honestly, I just cannot wait for school to be over and for summer to come so I can get back into a regular video filming schedule. So I want to be giving you more videos than I have been doing. I know I haven't posted in basically a month. So yeah, I'm sorry for that, but I hope you enjoy these new string of videos that I'm about to give you, starting with Rampage right now. So yeah, let's talk about Rampage. There isn't really much to say. I saw Rampage for fun. There wasn't really much else on at the time. So it's basically an adaptation of Rampage, a video game from the 90s, I think. People played it back then. It was very popular back then. So some studio had the rights and they made the film. It's starring The Rock, and basically the story goes, The Rock plays a character called Davis Okoye, and he works with animals. He's an ex-military guy, and he has a very strong bond with George, who's this big gorilla. So basically one day this corporation led by two really bad villains, I'll get to them later, anyway, they have this chemical, and up in space, the ship holding all of this chemical stuff blows up, releasing all this chemical stuff, sending it down to Earth, and basically, the chemical stuff infects three animals, George being one of them is a crocodile, one of them is a wolf. These three animals start to grow to huge sizes, and they go to Chicago to cause some mayhem, and the rampage begins. The plot is pretty thin. It basically revolves around The Rock teaming up with Naomi Harris's character, who plays another scientist, and their quest, along with Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character, to get to Chicago and stop these three giant mutant animals from causing complete destruction. They could destroy the entire city of Chicago. Anyway, I'll start with the things that I liked about the film. It's really not that bad. The Rock is a very likable presence. He commits to every action scene, and basically any film that The Rock is in, he will do his best to promote it, and just having him in the film, you can always tell that he's happy just to be in a film, and he gives it his all. He's a very likable guy, so The Rock is a definite plus for this film. Also, the character that he plays isn't just your typical The Rock character. He's a sort of detached guy. He doesn't really interact with humans very well. He interacts much better with animals, specifically George. And the relationship between Davis and George was actually quite fleshed out, and it gave the film more depth, especially when it's trying to be more emotional in the end of the film. The CGI is also pretty good. Bad CGI can be very noticeable, especially in video game movies, but in the final fight at the end, the CGI held up really well, and I thought that that whole final climactic action scene when these three animals are rampaging through Chicago, that was done really well. And there's this one shot specifically where the three animals climb up this one huge tower, and it's this wide shot and you just see them scaling up this huge skyscraper, and that's the kind of stuff that I wanted to see. But I did want more of it. The rampage scene isn't really that long. It takes up maybe the last 10-15 minutes of the film. But when your film is called Rampage and the rest of the plot is sort of just filler stuff with The Rock trying to get to Chicago and government action, stuff like that, figure out whether they should bomb these animals and that typical cliched stuff that you normally see, I didn't really want all that. I wanted more giant mutant animal mayhem, and there are some really fun action scenes. I thought that Brad Payton did a good job directing them. Along with The Rock, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is clearly having fun with his role. It's over the top, but not in a way that's distracting or anything. It just looks like he's having a ton of fun, and practically every line you can basically see him winking to the camera because he knows what he's doing, and he was a very funny and a very engaging presence throughout the whole film. It was definitely the right kind of over the top, and he nailed the tone for this film. The pacing I also thought was pretty good. The film sort of kept chugging along, and there weren't many dull patches. So yeah, those are the things I liked. Now time for the things that I didn't really like about Rampage. Here we go. The villains are absolutely terrible. These are possibly the worst screen villains that I've seen in a very long time. And you know how sometimes in films when you actually want the villain to die, but because he's a good villain and, he's so evil that you just want to rid the world of him. This film wasn't really like that. You just wanted to get these villains out of the film because they were so annoying. Literally, like, they're so over the top, but in a completely wrong way. Like, that you don't understand the motivation. They're being evil for the sake of being evil. Jake Lacey and Marlon Ackerman, who have been in good things, they've been good in other films, they're just completely wrong, and the writing is pretty bad. Also, the writing and the script throughout the whole film is a bit iffy. There are a few clunky lines that lead to a few tonal shifts, I think, when they were trying to be funny, and it didn't really work that well. Also, there's no real visual style. The action scenes are helmed pretty well, but the film is composed pretty much of whites and greys. There were no real striking colours to stand out, so none of the action scenes really had any visual flair or pop to them that really made them stand out. Also, I know that in big action films like this, you have to suspend your disbelief somewhat, but The Rock is pretty much invincible in this film. He survives so many things fall on top of him. He crash lands a helicopter off the top of a skyscraper and still survives. He's inside the jaws of a giant crocodile and still survives. And he basically comes out of the film with no real scrapes or bruises. So definitely suspend your disbelief in this film. I know that sort of goes without saying, but in this film in particular, just don't expect realistic things to happen. Anyway, Rampage knew what it wants to be. It was big, dumb fun. For a video game, it is considerably better than some of the really bad ones that we've had. All in all, Rampage was a pretty fun time. I'm going to give it a C+. I wouldn't really say go out and see it. I don't even know if it's in the cinemas anymore. There are definitely more important and more enjoyable things to be seen right now. So anyway, those are my thoughts on Rampage. If you've seen it, let me know what you thought. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do. And until the next time, goodbye.